I was giving a talk at an event not that long ago, and somebody in the crowd put their hand up and asked me, Jason, how much traffic are search engines losing to chatbots like ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, Claude, and others? Now, at that point, I had next to no data to answer this individual. I knew in my heart, or definitely in my intuition, that search engines game wasn't over. And I also knew that Google, who probably has the most data on anybody in the planet, in the short term isn't looking at turning down their biggest revenue stream, which is their search engines and their ad traffic. But I went and did some research, and this is exactly what we found as to how much search traffic is going to the search bots versus traditional search engines. So the total amount of searches from traditional search engines amounts to 1,615 billion searches, compared to AI interfaces like ChatGPT and other chatbots is 47 billion. This is around 23 times smaller than the search or impression shared by search engines. So the first piece of data shows us that Google and other search engines like Bing and Safari and DuckDuckGo, they aren't losing traffic. They aren't losing a substantial amount of traffic as it stands today to the chatbots such as ChatGPT, Grok, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, DeepSeek, and others. But this is where it gets very interesting. During September and October of last year, we saw a pretty big increase in usage of chatbots and obviously AI interfaces. Now, as more and more AI interfaces were rolled out and were given to the market for free, it caused a huge influx of users. Now, this meant that at the beginning, obviously people were very satisfied with their responses, but people have habits and ways of searching. So a lot of people were using these tools, but they weren't exactly replacing them with the type of searches that they were doing in traditional search engines like Google. This really meant that people might have had two options. Option one is you use a chatbot or an AI interface to respond to certain queries. And then option two is you had your traditional search engine where you'd make a different type of query for a different type of experience. So basically, what Google and other search engines saw is that their traffic did decrease, but not to the level that probably people thought it would do. And the reason being is these search engines had a very good experience because of the algorithm updates and all of the investment in creating a good search experience. Because when you search something, you need to find what you're looking for and you need to create an ecosystem of value so people come back to use your search engine. So the conclusion really is chatbot usage is growing. Yes, there was a surge, there was like a big usage, but then obviously this churn rate happened because people kind of went back to traditional search engines to doing research. While AI chatbot usage has steadily been growing, we did see obviously a pretty big adoption rate in last year's traffic. And that obviously did create some concerns, I would say, for people like Google. But the reality is search engines like Google and others are by far dominating the space. And there is one really important part to this conversation, which is Google's recent released AI mode. Now, I created another video on this as to my thoughts on AI mode and what businesses should be doing. I'll make sure I link it up here. But the reality is Google is becoming more and more inclusive. They are becoming more and more a glorified LLM or a feed, or you might say an enhanced or improved version of your Facebook feed. They are becoming a closed system, a closed ecosystem, a closed platform. This means that Google, who has the most data on any other users out there, is trying to create a platform where you don't have to leave. Whether it's your calendar, your email, your contacts, your search, your AI bot, your research where you're using traditional search engines, images, videos, they're trying to create a platform that can bring all of that together. And they've done a pretty good damn job. So where you've got AI chatbots fulfilling a really different type of search, you've got search engines still doing a really good job at providing responses to these queries. So what this means is in time, we will probably see the search engines get bigger and the chatbots maintain their place in the market. But most likely what we'll see is a different type of use case of the chatbots or the AI interfaces versus something like a traditional search engine. Am I concerned about SEO going away? Am I concerned about my websites losing traffic? Absolutely not, because we are positioning our content to be optimized for the AI algorithms, but more importantly, we are optimizing our content for the niche that we want to rank in, and we are expanding on that niche. We are expanding on existing results and successes we are seeing in certain pieces of content and the way that these search engines and the AI interfaces and the AI crawlers want to consume content. So chatbots versus search engines. Search engines are still by far the biggest dominating player on the board. That doesn't mean chatbots aren't going to have a role. And for an SEO strategy, you do need to be optimizing for AI crawlers and AI interfaces. But the reality is Google isn't going away anytime soon. I think businesses should still be considered on mapping content to the buyer journey versus just following the traditional logic of keywords and keyword volume. And definitely we will see a transition in listicle formats in the search engines, meaning that when you used to search and you'd see a listicle results, I think that is going to change. And as we see that changing, I do think such metrics like keyword volume, keyword difficulty, and page position is probably going to change. But the most important thing is that you stay authority in your field. You continue to provide value to your audience. Think about how you can capitalize on existing successes you've had and continue to grow in your space, in your niche, and expand and repeat where you've already seen some level of success. It's so much easier to capitalize on an existing piece of content that's doing well than recreate the whole wheel. So I hope you found this video interesting. If you'd like to find out more about what we do in the SEO space or how you can integrate AI into SEO, I'm going to link one of my free webinars, which you can just sign up, which I will share exactly how you can integrate AI into your SEO safely without running the risks of being penalized, and have some strong fundamentals in your SEO processes that bring the value that AI can in automation, scalability, and long-term success. So if you want to find out any more, I'll drop the links in the comment, and I'll see you in the next video.